Hello friends, welcome once again to Rick's Garage. Today I'm working on this 2015 Ford Fiesta SE. It's the 1.6 four-cylinder engine. What we're doing today is changing the spark plugs. So first of all, I'm going to be removing and installing these plugs with the engine stone cold. I've let it set overnight. You probably could remove the plugs with the engine hot. Might even make it easier, I don't know. But you're supposed to install the plugs with the engine stone cold. The reason for that is aluminum expands much greater than the steel the plugs are made out of. And if you install the plugs to a hot engine, and even if you put them to the correct torque, what's going to happen, the aluminum is going to tighten up around these plugs and you're going to have a real tough time getting them out. Maybe not be able to get them out without stripping. So we're going to try to do this job with the engine stone cold. I'm going to be working on this side and I'll work my way across doing one at a time. I'm only going to show you the first one as far as the removal goes. Then I'll come back when we're ready to install the plug. So I'm going to start with this first one, working left to right. I'm going to remove this oil cap, just so you get it out of my way. Don't forget to put it back on. Alright, I'm going to carefully remove the boot on this plug here. There it goes, comes off easy enough. Get that out of the way. And there are two tools I'm going to be using. One is a extended 5/8 spark plug removal tool with a ratchet. And the other one is a 5/8 spark plug removal tool with just a little handle so I can turn it out by hand. So we're going to go ahead and try to loosen this first plug, keeping in mind that the engine is stone cold, as I said before. Now we're not going to try to power this plug out of here. We're going to crack it a little bit and then turn it back, and we're going to work it back and forth. We don't want to strip these things. Now there's one technician I saw online that said you should crack the spark plug a little bit and then start the motor, and that will blow any debris out of there. I suppose you could do that. I'm not going to. It's pretty tight. Alright, I loosened it about 1/8 of a turn. Now I'm going to turn it back in. Loosened it a little more and I'm turning it back in. I'm going to keep, I apologize for that, that was my phone. You're just going to keep working it back until it loosens up. You got to have some patience with this. Hear that noise? You don't want to be hearing that. Alright, seems to be coming a little easier now. So just keep working it back and forth. When you start to hear that noise again, turn it back in. Seems to be coming a lot easier now. I can spin it right out. So just a little bit of patience, working it back and forth. I'm going to get my other tool now, and I'm just going to turn it out by hand. See how easily that's coming out now? So just a little bit of patience early on, working it back and forth. Don't try to force it out. Alright, that appears to be coming out nicely. Alright, so we got one out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of these plugs off camera, and I'll come back when I'm ready to install the new ones. Alright, I've got 3 of the plugs out. The reason I'm back is this last boot is going to be a problem to get out because you've got a little clip here in the way. So I just want to show you, you're going to have to flip this little clip up and out of the way. Don't lose it, could fall off. And now you can remove the last, just clip that out of there. Now you should be able to pull the last boot out, hopefully. There we go. All right, so there, I just wanted to show you that it was a little clip preventing you from getting the last boot out. Now I'll get this plug out and then I'll come back. Okay, the last one came out. Now all four came out just as easily as that first one. Just be patient. Even if it feels like it wants to come out, just turn it back and work it back and forth until you really feel the plug turning freely. I did a video on a BMW and the plugs were real bare to take out. I had to work it back and forth, and each plug took about a half an hour to get out. That was a much older vehicle. This is only a 2015, so I didn't really expect to have too much trouble with this. I'll leave a link to that other video at the end of this one. Now, should the unthinkable happen and you strip one of the threads in this aluminum head, it's not the end of the world. They have some nice kits available like the one you see here. I always keep it on hand just in case that should happen. There are lots of nice instructions on YouTube on how to use these, so I won't get into that. These happen to be a tapered plug, meaning there's no gasket. So the torque on these would be a minimum of 7, a maximum of 14 foot-pounds. The gap for this car is 44, so I've got a little gauge here, and I'm going to double check that. Alright, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the gap is supposed to be 44, and that's exactly where it is. So it was pre-gap from the factory, but I'm going to check them all off camera. So what I've done here is I've put a little piece of tape on the inside of my socket, and I've also put a little piece of tape so the socket won't come off of the holder. And that's so the plug will not fall down inside the hole when I go to put it in. So I'm inserting the socket. You can see now it won't fall out. And I've already gone ahead and checked the gap on all the plugs. They're all at the 44. So we're going to screw this one in. And we're going to screw it in using the hand tool. The reason for this is so I don't accidentally cross thread it. It's much easier to control it by screwing it in by hand. So there, we're just going to snug that a little bit. Now we're going to carefully pull this out. Hopefully the tape will come out with it, and it did. And so that plug is installed. So we're going to go ahead and install the rest of them off camera. Okay, I'm ready to torque these down. I have a torque wrench. It measures in Newton meters and foot-pounds. I'm going to set them all at 12 foot-pounds. That's, if doing some quick math in my head, about 18 Newton meters. So we're going to go ahead and try to torque these, and we're just going to turn it until it clicks. Right there. That's not much at all. You don't want to over torque these. Just turn it until it clicks. Right there. That's hardly anything. I've seen so many people use these torque wrenches to continue to power it past the click, so make sure you stop when it clicks. Right there. Otherwise you run the risk of stripping these. Not only that, but when someone ever goes to change the plugs again, if you over tighten them, they may never get them out. Right there. So that's not very tight at all. So we've got them all torqued. So now we're going to go ahead and reinstall our boots. Make sure you're careful to install them in the correct spot. Now, they'll only reach so far, so we know that this is the only one that'll reach out to here. That's in. Then this is the next one that's in. You can hear it click. The next one. And then the last one. And then we have that little clip that we removed. We're going to clip that back in. There we go. Don't forget to put your oil cap back on. So we're going to call this job done. Before I go, I'm going to post a couple of videos to your left. I'll post a video to that BMW where I changed the plugs on. Did that a couple of years ago. And hopefully I'll post some other video that's of interest to you. And to your right, you'll find a picture of my avatar. It's my trusty German Shepherd named Hi-Ho. So you can feel free to click on that if you wish to subscribe. And I want to thank you once again for watching Rick's Garage, and hopefully we will see you again sometime.